All right, we're going to try this again. 3, 2, 1, yo. Here we go. All right, I'm going to give everyone a little bit of time to get in here. We've had some technical issues. Holy crap. So for anyone who's watching this after the fact, you have no idea what we're talking about. The internet completely dropped. I figured it out. My internet just – it shit the bed. All I could say. That has never happened since switching to Ozarks Go. That's never happened before. It was a brief little hiccup. I did have to reset the router. That's a first. That is a first. Listen, man, it's technology, right? It can't be perfect all the time. I get great signal in this garage, but this is actually hardwired. This is an Ethernet cord drop from the modem to the room that's literally adjacent to this studio room. My neighbor and I, well, mostly Alex, my neighbor, he did an Ethernet drop. So this connects directly to my PC. So this is not Wi-Fi on this setup. So when I've got this little green box in the bottom right-hand corner of my OBS, and it went red, and everything on my screen went yellow. It was like, bro, you don't have internet. I'm like, what? Okay. So I'm going to give everyone a minute. I was pissed. I'm not going to lie to you. I was furious. I was mad. I don't have any lighter fluid for my cigar. So this is a brand new stream. I'm going to keep a really good eye, and if this thing drops to yellow or red, I may have to just cut this show short. So let me give you guys just a few minutes to get back in here. Again, if you're watching after the fact, some people don't like the wait. I apologize. We had some technical difficulties, and I got to work with what I have, okay? But again, Ozarks Go has not been a problem at all. Listen, technology can't be perfect. That's the first time I've ever had to reset the internet because of an outage during a show. That's a first. Ozarks Go has been great. Cox Internet. But, that's been a long time ago, but we didn't have their fiber optic, but their regular was not very good. Okay. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Man, I forgot where we even left off. So we're going to have to start this from scratch. Reading some of the comments. We had a good crowd in here and everything, man. That sucks. All right. We're 3 minutes in. I'm still looking at a good feed right now. We're still green. All right. Let's start off with hang on, let me make sure all the streams or shares are up. We're going to start off with some recruiting news first, and in the title we're talking about recruiting and the possibility of losing some prospects. We know that is generally that's what happens. When you lose games, you're going to lose commits. You're going to lose commitments. You're going to lose players. It's going to happen. They've already had a big-time wide receiver decommit. It looks like there's a strong possibility here, and it might already be just kind of a done deal, but on November 18th, 4-star wide receiver Ashton Bethel Roman, current Razorback commit, will be visiting Missouri. So, yeah, there's already rumors that they're probably, right now they're looking at, there's going to be a couple of drop-offs. And rumors are to be taken always with a grain of salt. They're always out there. There's always something, right? But, I mean, this looks like there's some legitimate concrete. Like this looks pretty – it's a problem. At the very least, this staff is going to have to figure out how the hell – because in their minds, in everybody's minds, I guarantee you Sam Pittman's telling these guys, we have to move forward with the idea that we're all returning. Because they still have their careers to think about. And I know it's real easy for fans to be like, why do they care? They're not going bowling. They've already lost a big-time commit. They're probably going to lose maybe a lot of this class. Who knows? That's not how the staff, that's not how they should approach this. I don't think this is how they're approaching this. Sam Pittman said on Monday, if I was concerned about my job right now, or if that's all that was on my mind, basically leading to the fact that this whole thing could crash and burn for real. They've got to get prepared for FIU. Now, I say, obviously, they've crashed and burned this year, but I mean, they could possibly lose out, I think is what he was getting at. I think I have that footage of him talking about that. So I do want to roll the tape here just a minute, kind of go over a little bit of what he said for Monday. Let me know if you guys, is the signal good? Is the quality good? We had over 130 people in here. I'm happy if we get 50 people in here. So I appreciate you guys. Let me know, is the sound okay? Is the audio or the video? Because right now I'm reading all green. So just let me know. Keep in mind, too, because it buffers, that doesn't mean it's buffering for everybody. That could be your connection as well. But I saw it on YouTube, Reddit, and Discord. It must be true. Wait. What? What are you talking about? Hold on. What's Bumbles Bounce talking about? Ty, he's our man. If he can't do it, nobody can. I appreciate you, Tercer. Thanks for being a Test Talk with Ty YouTube member, too. You and Bumbles Bounce. Look at that, baby. We got two of y'all up in here. That's awesome. Our NIL power is apparently hurting us, says Azazian on Absurdity. Yeah. Hey, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Shout out to Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company. Same-day services, quality parts, affordable outcomes, better than best results. Give them a call today, 501-244-3667. That's Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company. If you guys want to join Patreon, man, I'm telling you, I got to delete that description. Uh-oh, I don't know why that stuck around. Ruh-roh. If you guys want to join Patreon, it's rocking and rolling. But because YouTube has deemed it necessary for me to manually put ads, I don't put ads in the middle of the show. You will not get it. You shouldn't get an ad, at least not from me. I have a literal button here. It's got a $sign. It says insert ad. I choose not to do that. You'll see it pop up maybe in the beginning. Typically at the very end is when that ad comes in. I lose money when I do that. I'm not going to lie to you. That's a loss for me. I don't want you guys to have to deal with ads in the middle of a show. I swear to God. Is anything else going to go wrong tonight? Some asshole driving by my house, revving up his motor. Oh, my God. I'm getting so mad. Cool, man. That was cool. Anyways, you won't have me inserting ads in the middle of a show. That's not going to happen. You'll see them maybe in the beginning, in the very end, but I don't want to do it in the middle. So if you guys want to join Patreon, show a little bit of support for your boy, I'd appreciate it. The Nostalgia Fiend says, don't blame Pittman. Petrino put us here. He took us out of the literal worse than Vanderbilt. Come on, one bad year. Only two other coaches were more successful than Pittman at Arkansas in history. What? I mean, Frank Broyles, Lou Holtz, Ken Hatfield, Houston Nutt, Bobby Petrino. I mean, those guys all had some success here. That's kind of, I don't know. Oh, in a 3-year span. Okay. I was about to, hold on. I don't know. You do say in Arkansas history, though, there, guy, in the first 3 years. But you're in year 4. I know we don't want to count COVID. I get that. And by the way, what did Lou Holtz do his first year? Go back and look. I've got a media guide around here somewhere. Yeah, Frank Broyles got off to a different start, but that was the 1950s into the 60s. I think Broyles came in the late 50s, right? Fair weather fans, no one wants to lose. Yeah. All right. I want to address that so bad. Listen, man, you're year 4. Either way, we could sit here and talk about the COVID year all that we want and not count that. But here's the problem with that, and this is why I agree that we shouldn't hold year 1 against him. However, everybody had to deal with COVID year. Everybody had to deal with COVID year. And they put a good product on the field, all things considered what happened before. So I'm not sitting here saying they absolutely should fire Pittman right now. I'm not saying that. I'm just simply telling you where people are coming from, where fans are coming from. I better keep an eye on that. Okay, we're still green. We're still green. No disconnect coming. Where fans are coming from on this, last year you lose to Liberty. You go 6-6 in a year. You had the team. You had Kendall. You had Odom for year 3. Both those guys back for year 3. And you still fall to 6-6. Should have won 8. Okay, it didn't happen. You lost to Liberty. Hugh Freeze owns your balls right now. Okay, he's 2-0 in bowl games. You've got that going for him. That's great. He beat 2 good competitors, Penn State and Kansas. That's great. But you still underachieved last year, especially compared to what you did the year before. And your trajectory, you had an upwards trajectory when you went 3-7. I mean, let's be real. Auburn, it technically is a loss, but we know what really happened. That should have been his 4th win, but whatever. You had a better product on the field. You're moving up, man. And then just like that, year 2, you have a really good 8-win season. Only to fall flat on I shouldn't say flat on your face. 6-6, not horrible. You still get a bowl game. You still finish at least above 500 overall in your record. And then this year unfolds the way that it has. There are people who believe that, listen, you got to let Sam correct the ship here. We're not in any situation. We're not in any type of situation where we can afford to just fire guys left and right. On the other hand, you're looking at a 4-8 season. You're on a continuous downward trend. All of a sudden, those moral victories don't mean a damn thing. To be honest, they never meant anything to begin with, especially in year 4. Year 1, year 2, we could talk. Year 4, that's not an excuse. And then you put the kind of product that you put on the field against Mississippi State, and then what happened against Auburn? This is where fans are coming from. That sort of thing shouldn't be happening in year 4. Also, it was very clear that Enos was not the guy for the job. We know that now. It's easy to say. Hindsight is 2020. I agree, but at the same time, it's his job to evaluate his players, and it's his job to evaluate the incoming staff. And he failed, at least from the Dan Enos from the offensive coordinator hiring. He failed. That's just all there is to it, and it has cost them dearly this year. The offensive line. Here's another thing to look at. The offensive line has been beyond abysmal. This is Chad Morris level bad on the offensive line. Sam Pittman, who's coached offensive line for almost 3 decades, known as a recruiting guru at the position, a guy that develops talent at the position and puts a good offensive line product on the field. He hasn't done that this year at all. It's been the polar opposite. Again, not something you expect to see in year 4. So to call fans fair weather because they're over this, I don't know that's a little. That's disingenuous. You're not looking at you're not looking at the big picture. You're just seeing the wins and loss columns since he was hired. You're not looking at the individual cases. You're not looking at the offensive line play. You're not looking at the position groups. You're not looking at the fact that they went into the transfer portal and grabbed some receivers from schools you've never heard of and you couldn't point to on a map. And we wonder why they're struggling in the passing game along with the poor offensive line play. You guys could hurl shit at KJ all day long, and you're not exactly wrong. He's not had a good year. Even with a clean pocket, he struggled a little bit this year. But he is not the catalyst to this issue. The catalyst began it all started, it feels like to me, when they lost to Liberty at home, but you could kind of understand what happened there with KJ's injury and everything and him dealing with it. But you go back and you circle the areas where you're struggling. You shouldn't be struggling. Shouldn't have an offensive line that's as bad as this. I mean, it'd be one thing if they were vanilla or if they were just like so. They are atrocious. He is one of the KJ Jefferson has about 0.3 seconds to get rid of the football. I mean, running backs, if they don't pick the perfect lane, they're in trouble, which, I mean, most run designs, it's one lane, right? But if you don't you don't get the play off quick, you can't have any slow developing plays. You can't have any slow developing play action throws. You can't do that. You can't afford to do that. But yet you have to utilize play action. You have to utilize RPO to try and throw the timing off the defense. But they can't do anything right on the offensive side of the ball. They can't do anything right on the offensive side of the ball. And again, it starts with horrendous line of scrimmage play from the offense. They're bad. They're bad up front, and there's no excuse for it. That has to fall on Sam Pittman. The offensive coordinator hire falls on Sam Pittman. Yeah, he did a good job. I mean, his defensive coordinator right now, speaking of Gus Malzahn, his defensive coordinator right now could be a final. I mean, I don't know if he'll be a finalist for the Broyles, but he's been nominated, and we'll see what happens there. But probably not going to get it. Definitely not going to get it. But the tight end coach is a good hire. I think what they've done on defense across the board, have done a good job. They've knocked it out of the park on the defensive side of the ball for the most part. Yeah, the Auburn game got away from them. Very clear they went down 14 and that was it. They completely let go of the rope. So I don't know for the few people, the minority of people who want Sam back for another year, want to give him another shot. I don't know that you're truly looking at everything that I just pointed out, what people are talking about in chat, what people are talking about in Discord, what people are talking about on message boards. I don't know if you're truly looking at that and understanding what's being said, because in no way, shape, or form, based on the body of work, based on the 4 years, based on where they're headed. By the way, you're going to lose prospects along the way, man. There's no way in hell you go 4-8 and finish with one conference win and keep a top 25 class. If they do that, I mean, damn, son, that's some hellacious. That's a damn good job recruiting. I mean, and Sam is capable of I'm not saying you're going to have a gigantic mass exodus of decommits, but I do wonder what this is going to do to the portal. And so at some point, you might even be forced to make a change just simply because of a potential mass exodus, and you're going to want someone that could come in and maybe revitalize a little bit of excitement into the program, because right now it doesn't appear that Sam, I don't know if he's capable of doing that or not. I don't know. He's going to have to knock it out of the park. If they keep him around for another year, he's going to have to knock it out of the park for an offensive coordinator hire. I'm going to be real with you, man. I like Kenny Guyton a lot. Kenny is not going to be the next OC. He's not going to be it. I loved and I was on board, but and again, I'm not saying that what we saw against Auburn is on him. I'm just simply saying that I don't think his resume is going to be strong enough. He might get an interview. I think he's probably, depending on how this finishes out and what the offense does, he might get an interview. And maybe he's deserved that right, or he's earned that right, rather. They're stuck between a rock and a hard place. The reasons for keeping him, I could find very few. And again, I'm not sitting here telling you they need to fire him right now. I did say the further south of 6 you go, the less likely he is to return. Very real possibility. I think there is I'm not saying it's going to happen. There's a legit shot here that they go 4-8 and he keeps his job. And so it's going to come down to the transfer portal. It's going to come down to the OC hire. It's going to come down to what the hell he does with his offensive line. I don't know if behind the scenes, I mean, he said he's going to get more active, especially with with everybody. And I think he mentioned the offensive line. I don't know what the hell he did going into the Auburn game. He said we kind of, we took Florida by surprise, which your boy, I told you that's what was going to happen. You've got a shot here now. I thought Florida was going to win it. I was shocked that Arkansas found a way to win that game, but I predicted Arkansas to lose that game. But obviously you took them by surprise. Auburn was ready for it. They were ready for everything. And then they went up 14-0 in Arkansas. I mean, that team completely let go of the rope. Is that indicative of a head coach that has full control of his team? Because I don't think so. And that's another thing against Sam right now. You should absolutely destroy FIU on Saturday. But God only knows. I mean, he said it before. Our record would indicate that we've struggled with teams like this. And you've struggled at home, which is so bizarre. And you've lost so many close games. I don't see the reasons for are not outweighing. I'm talking about keeping Sam. Those reasons are not outweighing the reasons to walk away from Sam. with Pittman's personality to give his pals jobs. I fear Jim Chaney. Oh, Lord. If he hires Jim Chaney, it's yeah, that's – you're not going to sell tickets, man. You're not – you're going to see – it's going to be rough. Jim Chaney and I realized once upon a time ago Chaney was a really good OC, had a really good reputation, but it hasn't been that way for a long time. He's not been relevant in a very long time. He lets the coordinators do what they do, scratches his chin and looks around. I believe they will not fire him yet. And then in all caps, once again we're yelling here, it very well could happen. Yeah, listen, I hear you. And it's looking likely that here's what I think is the situation that we're in right now, that Arkansas is in right now. It's that it's trial by fire right now. They're going to have to put on a better show against FIU. God bless. If he loses to FIU, he's done. I think he's fired off the field. You can't keep him. Like, that will force Hunter Yurachek's hand. There's no way he keeps his job if you lose to FIU, given what just happened against Auburn, what happened against Mississippi State, and what's happened on the year. There's no way he keeps his job if he gets fired against FIU. That's just the rational – I mean, that's the rational side of me saying that, okay? That's not just hysterical, oh, my God. That's the rational side of me saying there's no way in hell he keeps his job. However, Missouri's going to – what are they? They're top 10 in the country. They're going to remain top 10. Could even crack the top 5 depending on who falls in the next couple of weeks. You got rivalry games coming up. They're most likely, unless they just shit the bed next weekend – who do they have? Who does Mizzou have? Hold on. It's a cupcake, right? Oh, no, they got Florida. I mean, yeah, the Florida's a cupcake. They've got Florida at home, right? Yeah, they've got Florida at home, and Missouri is a really good home team with only one loss at home to LSU, 49-39. So they're going to have Arkansas the weekend after, or the Friday after on the 24th. If he finds a way to get that win, then yeah, his job's secured. Then he's back for sure. And I know some of you just want him gone and want him to lose out and whatever. I mean, I'm not going to say anything about what does and doesn't happen. I really don't know. Yeah, history does say they could struggle against FIU. It's unreal. Outside of Musselman, Hunter's striking out big time. Fish, have you been paying attention? I mean, listen, I know we don't want to – I know that women's sports doesn't hold the same – I don't know how to word this. It doesn't hold the same overall fan interest that football, basketball, and baseball does, but he's killed it with all of his other hires. And it looked like Sam was in an upwards – looked like Sam was the man. It looked like Sam was going to be the man until that was no longer the case. And again, I go back to that Liberty game, kind of just, I don't know. I don't want to say it was a red flag, but maybe it should have been. There was just something about that game. It felt like he was out-coached. And I've told you guys, I think very highly of what Hugh Freeze can do on the field. I think he might have Auburn humming. I think he's going to be in a pretty good situation in the next couple of years. It may not be next year. It might take him a year, 3. You know, Auburn is not Alabama. It's not, you know, it's not a Georgia. Like, it's going to take him, even in this transfer portal era, I think it's going to take them probably till about year 3 to really become a problem. But I like him as a coach. I mean, I hate to say it. You put all the off-the-field stuff out of the way, but it is what it is. Yeah, no, Fish isn't a troll. That is his actual take. That is his – listen, he's in our Discord. That's his actual take. Him and Kopeski, they've got it, man. They've got some crazy takes. Even if we win against FIU by 7, still fire Pittman. Are you saying they will fire Pittman, Talon, if they win by 7? Is that what you're saying? I don't know. You never know. Never say never. Never say never. I've learned that. I've learned my lesson. I'm not going to – I don't know at this point. What I feel like they're going to do is these next 2 games are it for Sam. Like he's got to figure it out. He's got to find ways to win out. I just don't know that he returns. I have such a hard time seeing that. 4-8. I mean, I don't know. Florida probably helped him out a lot. I mean, it did. Florida helped him out a lot. I mean, let's just face it. It did in terms of the pros of keeping him, right? Yurchek is one of the top ADs in the country. Says AR. I think he's done a really good job, man. I think all of his hires have been on point. Sam, it just so happens that, SEC football is the best in the land. That's just all there is to it. It's not easy. We love making light of the whole who you gonna get crowd, right? Who you gonna get? I get it. But as I've said before, they kind of have a point. Arkansas is not a super attractive job. I don't know what happens. I say it's going to be they're going to fire him if he can't beat Mizzou. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. One thing that's for sure, and again, I'm gonna plug Patreon. We're gonna keep up with all the transfer portal targets, all that stuff. Lots of turnover this year. If Sam doesn't come back, yeah, it'll help our coaching search. Well. Michael Kopetsky, you hush. Bring back Jeff Traylor. His name has been brought up a lot, man. I liked Houston Nutt. I did too. Hear me out, people. Bill Belichick. See, there's another just goofball take. Cliff Kingsbury for what? OC, I you can make an argument. Ty, your thoughts on Fritz. I don't know. I don't know, man. I see his name brought up a lot. I like what he's doing down in Tulane. He is 60. What is he? 62, 63. It wouldn't be that tough to buy him out. Tulane is not going to go toe-to-toe. I would hope Tulane doesn't go toe-to-toe with Arkansas on getting, if they wanted to go after Willie Fritz. I don't know. And I'm not saying that because of his age. I mean, again, there's plenty of coaches that are really successful, 60-plus years of age. But you just wonder, like, how long would he have here? And I don't know. He's a – where the hell did he play college? Didn't he play college ball back in the early 80s or late 70s or something? He went to a small school, if I remember right. He's got to be in his – I think he's 64, 60, whatever. Andy Reid, yeah, but we're just throwing names out now, aren't we? We got someone complaining about – don't do that. Boss, you're killing me, bro. Are y'all having problems seeing me? Let me know. Brom isn't leaving Louisville. He's home. Yeah, no, he's not going anywhere. That'd be a tough one. Sam is a facilitator. Let's play a little bit of what Sam had to say for Monday.
You said up here a few weeks ago that it was your butt on the line. I wonder if these next 2 games, it feels like you're coaching for next year.
Well, you're always trying to win, so honestly, it doesn't feel a whole lot different than what it does every week. We want to win and coach for our players to be the best they possibly can be. And, in coaching, I think a lot of times you get concerned when you felt like you've had a really good practice week and it doesn't go well on a Saturday. So we went back and tried to figure out if we can change something up. Obviously, it was the same thing we did against Florida, format-wise. But no, I mean, we're trying to win games and trying to do the best we can to put the kids in the best spot to have success. But Jamie and I, when we got here, we were planning on coaching here until whatever that date was that we were going to go down to Hot Springs and call it a day. I'm not close to that year right now, and the plan is to get this program back to where it deserves to be and stay here as long as we possibly can. I know what's going on. Hunter Yurchek knows what's going on, but really nobody else really, it's opinion. They don't really know what's going on, but it affects our recruits. So we spent a lot of time yesterday with that as well. But my job is to get ready for FIU. I'm not worried about my job security at all. And I think I'm the guy for the university, and I want to stay here for a long time. If I was worried about me personally, I think it would take away from what we're trying to get done here. I got a job to do. I get paid to do it. I need to do a better job. And so I can't really sit around worried about my job security or me or anything like that. I just think it's a much bigger issue with the media than it is with myself.
Coach, I'm sorry to ask another question about the Polar Express thing, but is it normal for them to be watching something on the TV during games?
Well, it was halftime, so the game wasn't during the game. But no, you probably knew the answer to that.
Well, I figured so.
I'm gonna ask you, do you think it's normal for them to
No,
watch?
not at all.
Look, I'll be honest with you, I didn't even know there was a TV in there. And somehow the TV got turned on. I don't think, I'll be perfectly honest with you, I don't think that him being in the red shirt locker room watching a movie at halftime had anything to do with us getting our butt kicked.
All right, there it was. Yeah, that was from Monday, by the way. That wasn't from today. Felt like you could, like I said earlier in our first attempt at going live, you could cut that tension with a butter knife. Sam's feeling it. I mean, there's no doubt he's feeling it. I mean, how could you not? He's not ready to retire, so we could throw that one out. That was actually one of the options on the community poll here on YouTube for Tuss Talk. He's not. There's no plans of retirement. So if you thought that he was gonna just kind of ride off into the sunset after a disappointing 2023 football season, it ain't happening. He wants to correct it. I am leaning towards, I don't know, I'm so split down the middle on what's happening here. If they're going to wait until after Missouri, or if they're just going to give him another year and we're going to play the excuse game. Well, Rocket Sanders was hurt. Well, we lost Ty Washington and Luke Has. Well, we had the situation ongoing with Dwight McLaughlin, which, by the way, what the hell's going on? Why did they bench Dwight McLaughlin for 2-3 weeks? Well, I think he was healthy. He was dressed out for Mississippi State, and he didn't play. If I remember that right, please correct me if I'm wrong. What the hell's going on? He's clearly the best corner on the field. He's the best DB on the field. There's so many questions, and it's such a bizarre thing to be talking about. If Dwight McLaughlin was healthy, was it something else? And if it was off the field, I don't see the harm. And I think he's done this before. He's talked about, well, we got to get some things right off the field. I don't know what was going on with Nudie or with old Dwight McLaughlin. He's clearly your best DB on the field. They were lining Hudson Clark up at the nickel, or the hog, as they call it, it's the nickel. It's that inside slot corner position. And we all know he shouldn't be there. Yeah, he's a physical. One of the things he likes about that position are guys that can tackle. And he is probably your best tackling defensive back. I know some people want to argue with that, but I'm telling you, the guy grades out pretty high on PFF for DBs for tackling. I see it with my own eyeballs. He struggled a little bit this year, and I think he had some moments last year where he struggled. But that first year or two, I thought he was a really efficient tackler. Not good in man coverage. It's not that hard to pick on him. It's not that hard to spot him in the secondary for an opposing quarterback if he's in man coverage. And they kept putting him there. I mean, they just kept putting – I know there's been some issues. They've been a little banged up here and there, but I don't know that you were ever so banged up that you couldn't just move him back to safety and plug somebody else in at that nickel spot. there's been some just bizarre things. And again, maybe that's on the secondary coaches. And maybe we shouldn't be challenging the secondary coaches because they have flipped that script around over there, and they've done a fantastic job. But there's just been, I don't know. You remember Luke his first couple of games, they weren't really targeting him, despite the fact in fastball, from what I could tell when I was there in practice, going all the way back to spring, that guy was open all the time. He looked good, especially in fall camp. I thought he looked really good. Again, every time he was open, there were no contested throws because he was wide open. And it took them a little bit to figure out, now that's more of an Enos thing. But again, who hired Enos? And why was it Sam? Was Sam going to Enos saying, hey, we need to get him more involved? You remember how they talked about rolling the pocket? We're going to roll the pocket more. That's what we're going to do. We practice it, and we practice rolling the pocket or moving the pocket all through practice throughout the week. And we didn't see it happening. And then when asked about it, Sam just puts his hands up like, I don't know. You're the head coach, man. I mean, he does just let his coaches coach. And I know that there's plenty of coordinators who appreciate that. From what I could tell, maybe we were wrong when we thought that Sam had his hand in the offense. Remember, that was kind of what we were thinking the last couple of years, and even part of this year. Maybe Sam's got his hand in the offense. I think he's just letting them do whatever they want and try to address it in practice. I don't know, but it is. I'm split down the middle on what's going to happen. I think there is a possibility he returns as long as he beats FIU for a fifth year. I get your frustration. I'm going to be real with you. I said if you don't make a bowl game, I don't know, that you would want him to come back if you're Hunter Yurachek. And it's very clear at the moment that if they can get to 5, they're going to keep him. There's no doubt if he gets to 5. I'm not saying that he will. I'm just simply saying if he finds a way to upset Mizzou. Crazier things have happened. Let's not act like there hasn't been some wacky, crazy shit going on the last couple of years. But if he finds a way to get to 5, he's without a doubt returning, which I wouldn't have guessed that at the beginning of the year. I would have thought, wow, 5? Well, he's probably fired. I mean, we're talking about 4 years. I get the COVID thing. I get it. Well, year one, they had to deal with all these issues, but so did everybody else, I don't know. And yeah, I'll give him year one. I'll give him year one. And he still put a far greater product on the field, without a doubt. He did, compared to Chad Morris. I just want to know where it went. I want to know where it went. Where the hell did it go? He's laying back and letting Kennedy do it all on the line. That's why we suck. I can't. Again, the offensive line and how bad they are is a mystery. I mean, they've just continued to show when it's the next man up. So far, it's not been an improvement on the offensive side of things. Next man up at wide receiver this year, which was, again, grabbing guys out of the portal. It's a step down. I would argue maybe tight end was on its way, but the offensive line you have to replace. It's not easy to replace 3 guys, but my God, man, I would have thought they replaced all 5 guys with nothing but true freshmen up there who were 3 stars the way they've looked this year. Guys that weren't highly recruited. To hell with stars, just to guys that weren't highly recruited at all, and that's not the case. These guys that are up there and their backups as well, some were 4 stars, and these guys had a boatload of offers. I heard Christy Malzahn doesn't want to come here until Gus retires. I saw that too. I don't think Gus has any intention of coming here, and I issued a correction on the first live show. I had someone comment saying that I don't know anything. I'm just a Discord. I forgot how he put it. Because I failed to mention that if Gus Malzahn were to come here, that he would that he would be the most likely candidate to keep the staff. And I completely forgot to mention that these two have worked together before, and they came from UCF, or Travis Williams. That's where he came from. So that would be the case. I think it absolutely would be the case. I think he would retain Travis Williams. I think he would probably try his best to retain everybody on the defensive side of the ball, but I don't know that. But again, I don't think Gus And one of the reasons why I didn't go that deep into Gus on Sunday, and that's where that comment was made. I don't think that's a realistic possibility. And I thought about that after the show. I was going to issue a correction in the comments on Sunday because I knew when I was done going live, I thought, I probably need to put that out there that, oh, by the way, Travis Williams had worked with Gus Malzahn. By the way, I reported on that. So I was fully aware that those two had a connection other than just Auburn. You know, some people are out to just, you make one little mistake or you neglect to say something or mention something, you mispronounce somebody's name, you maybe get a position wrong. Boy, they're out to get you. They're out to talk that shit. And yet I reported on Travis Williams when that all happened, so I definitely knew about that connection. Ty, what do you think the odds are that Sam gets fired? Yeah, again, man, I kind of already gone over that a little bit. I don't know. I don't know. I want listen. It changes week to week. If he loses to FIU, he's not coming back. There's no way in hell. They might let him finish the season and lose to Missouri. Florida really, really saved his ass. Let's make no mistake about that. But if he beats FIU and I don't know, plays, who cares? I mean, I think Missouri's probably going to come in here and whoop that ass. Good Lord. If that happens, I don't know. I'm split. I have no idea. I don't know. I want to lean to the side that he's gone no matter what this year. Maybe something's already went down. I mean, you had people reporting that a decision on Sam Pittman's career wasn't me. I reported that it was being said. I never said that I knew that. I didn't know that. Who knows? Who knows what actually happened on Sunday? I cringed when you said that. About what? About Mizzou? Believe me, I did too internally. He probably got his ass whipped. Oh, talking about Gus. I guess that's who you're talking about. I don't know. Remind me again why Arkansas is a better program than Mizzou. The only thing for sure is nothing's for sure. That's it, Todd. I would say right now they made a great hire at head coach. I think, talking about Mizzou, I think they made a great hire. I think Arkansas' ceiling is higher because of the regional influence, the fan support. It's going to dip. I mean, you look at what they've done in the attendance in Fayetteville so far this year, that's gone. Mizzou very well might have a stripe out in your own damn stadium. Fans are over this, man. I mean, that's the fact of the matter. I don't know how many people are going to show up. I don't know how many people are going to show up on Saturday, but there's no bowl game. I don't know really. I don't even know what to expect for FIU, and so right now the appearance is that Mizzou is a better football program, but I would argue Arkansas has a bigger fan base. I mean, I don't know about Mizzou's financial support. I know that they're doing a really good job in recruiting. I mean, I'll give them credit. Was there more one important player in recent memory than Treylon Burks? Yeah. Two and 10 next year. I don't know. Hey, Ty, there are good times when being a Hog fan in Arizona is a good thing. As long as you're staying off the internet, right? Blank morals, bring Bobby Petrino back. Country, I want you to explain to me, if he's such a great head coach, why is he not a head coach at a Power 5 football right now? Why didn't A&M – what's going on at A&M with him? What was up? I mean, their offense, say what you want about it. I mean, whatever, but they're not exactly – I mean, they fired their head coach for a reason. Bobby Petrino didn't come in and save the day over there. I don't know. Guys, 2011, Bobby Petrino is not walking through those doors. It's not happening. It's just not. He's not the coach that he was in 2011. He's not. And maybe he'll prove me wrong and he'll get a good job somewhere. And after Missouri State last year, after they came in here and almost beat Arkansas, it was a good game. They went on to lose how many straight games? Like 5? I don't know. Now maybe they had. I think I'd read they had some injuries, but you guys, some people seem to think that 2011 Petrino is going to walk in that door, and it's not happening. It's just not, man. Ed Orgeron, now you're not being serious. Barely lose to several top-tier teams, get stomped by Auburn, score 3 against Mississippi State, so inconsistent, hot, cold all year. Yeah. Go get Dion. See, country's just throwing names out. Well, his market value, I mean, it's definitely more than it was when he first took the job at Colorado, but Petrino is not hireable. University rules. Yeah, that's right. He's not even eligible anyways. I think that's right. People giving their tickets away. They are. By the way, we unfortunately our last stream crashed, but Jumpmaster Scott, we're doing good here. Look at those numbers, all green. That's what I'm talking about. Jumpmaster Scott in our Discord has 2 tickets available for FIU. So if you want to go, you want to take the kids, maybe Arkansas can get a win. Take them to the game. Jumpmaster Scott has those tickets. So hit him up in Discord. Get the likes up. Yeah, let's smash the like button, huh? Hit the subscribe button if you're new here. Bobby Petrino's playing with his third. I don't care, Gary. He's 2011 Petrino was not walking through the doors, man. It's not happening. Change the rules. No, don't. I don't want Petrino here. I'm sorry. Petrino died when on the stage at the press conference. 2011 Petrino died in the neck brace, right? He was, yeah. It's the university bylaws why Petrino can't come back. Period, says Todd Cooper. Yeah, no, he's not coming back, fellas. That's not going to happen, and he shouldn't. I mean, I'm sorry. If I had more, well, if we could get the Kansas coach Leopold, I'm all for it. I like Kingsbury, but our tight ends would all hit the portal as an offensive coordinator. So that's going to be again. That's going to be the trick for Sam Pittman in the offseason. It's going to be about what he does for offensive line. He's obviously going to have to. I expect a lot of offensive linemen to hit the portal, and I think he's going to try and clean house. And that may not be those guys leaving. It might be Sam showing them the door. I think Coach Kennedy, there's a possibility that they'll make a change there at the offensive line coach. But the portal is going to play a huge role if Sam gets a 5th year. There's no doubt, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The portal is going to play a massive role for Arkansas in the offseason. We already talked about the decommitment, but or the possible decommitment. Ashton Bethel Roman going to visit Mizzou on November 18th. That's a 4-star committed to Arkansas. That would be another big loss. Why don't Sam just become the offensive line coach himself? I don't know. It's a good question. Why doesn't he just completely take it over? Maybe Barry Odoms. Just think we could have had Norvell. Oh man, how just one bad decision after another, 3-3-5, 3-4 defense. Odom wasn't our savior. Yeah. Breaking news: Ty John L. Smith was seen in Fayetteville. Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. All right. That is going to do it for the show. I appreciate you guys. I apologize for all the technical issues. I don't know. That's the first time that's ever happened. Ozarks Go has been great to me. That is the first time that's ever happened during a live show since switching over to Ozarks Go. So I don't know what that was all about. I don't know. But clearly it held up afterwards, and I'm reading really good numbers. So I appreciate you guys sticking through it. If you want to join Patreon, we're about to have an ad pop up here in just a second. But if you want to support your boy here, I know some folks do. We crossed 70. I hope we end at 70. We crossed 70. I hope we can end at 70. I know the Bryant family, and they told me it was Bear Bryant's dream to coach at Arkansas, but never could get hired. Unreal, just Arkansas luck. Boosters want Gus. Yeah, there's some folks in Springdale that really want Gus Malzahn, for sure. All right, I'll be back on Friday. We're going to break down Arkansas and FIU. We're going to talk about their matchup with UNC Greensboro that Friday night. We got a lot to discuss on Friday. Again, final thoughts on Sam right now. It certainly appears like there is a situation where he could stick it out for another year, whether you like it or not. Does it actually happen? I don't know. We'll see what happens from here on out. But again, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe on your way out the door. Tip your waitresses. And, I'll see you guys on Friday. Enjoy the rest of your week.